I thank everybody for joining this episode of Overcome by My Testimony. We are doing it in October, and as everybody knows, because you've seen everybody in their pink, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I have the pleasure of speaking with a lady that is very special to me, who is a breast cancer survivor, my godmother, Julia Weathers. Welcome, Jima.
Hi, thank you.
All right. So the first question, what led to you finding out that you had breast cancer, and when was it?
I was diagnosed 14 years ago in August. Actually, it's August 8th of 2008. Um, my breast just didn't look right. And I just felt it, and there was a lump there. And I went and I had a mammogram, and my doctor, she notified me and said, you need to come in. We need to check some stuff out. And so I went in, and that's what happened. I went in and they looked at it. They told me, said, it just doesn't look good. We need to do some tests and things like that there. And basically, Rashon, I told them, because I already knew I got a family history, a strong family history. So, I walked in, I said, hey, I know it is what it is. My mom was a breast cancer survivor for like 40 years before she passed away. And my sister had died of breast cancer back in 92. And I told the doc, I said, do whatever test. I want a second opinion. I got a second opinion. And they just told me, they said, you have breast cancer. And I said, well, basically, I knew I can tell you I got it because of family history. And so then they just told me how they were going to treat me. And I said, okay, that's fine. Let's move forward.
888.
888. 08, 08, 08.
It was a new beginning in your life.
Yes.
And
And I was just so happy that, my mom was no longer around. I had lost her in March of 08. And, that's a void in your life. But I was happy that she was not here to witness the fact that 2 of her daughters out of 3 had breast cancer. So, she missed that, me going through treatment and everything. And then I said, Lord, you already knew. You ordered our steps in life anyway. So I was just thanking God that, she did not know that I also had breast cancer. It was 2 of her girls out of 3. So, but we maintained.
So when you noticed the lump and they found was it in the early stage, or had it been there for a while?
I had stage 2.
Okay.
And they said, you have to have chemo and no radiation. I said, that's fine. When I started my chemo treatments, my childhood friend came out, and that was hubby, which meant a world to me. She was here for my first treatment. She seen me getting sick, and I'm like, oh, wow, your friend is here, you're sick, And she had some issues going on in her life, but she pressed her way, and I was so ever grateful for that, support from my husband, my daughter, my family meant the world to me. Especially being a military family, you're away from your family. You're not with your immediate family, so you feel sometimes really alone. And it's just not the same having your family around locally where they can just run over and help you and things like that. It's different.
So I know there's different stages. Do you know what the different stages are and why they characterize it in different stages?
Basically, they say there's stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 is the worst you can have. I've known ladies that have had stage 4, and they said, hey, it looks like this. It's not looking good. They went in, they had their treatment, they followed up, and they did well. I've known people that had stage 4. It was not a good outcome. I've known people had less stages, and it wasn't a good outcome. I leaned a lot on my faith during my treatment and saying, Lord, you order my steps. I'm just going to follow you. Um, basically, I think this is me personally, you have to take care of yourself and be proactive about your breast. And just know, even though you may have stage 4 and they say it doesn't look good, if you do what the doctors say that you need to do, take your meds, go through the treatment, it doesn't have to be a death sentence.
What was your reaction when you were told that you had it, or you went and you told them?
Basically,
You went
Rashon,
and told
told
them that you had it.
I told them, I'm like, I got this thing. I didn't wish nothing on me, but I knew, just like I said, from family history, goes beyond my mom, and I remember years ago, my mother said to us, you girls take care of yourself, because I've had breast cancer, and this is like 40 some years ago, prior to her passing. She said, it's a possibility that one of you will get this. She said, I'm not, going to accept the fact that you're going to get it, but just genetics, there might be a chance that you could get breast cancer. And it happened to my sister Maddie, and she passed away from breast cancer, and then it happened to me. And I only have one other sister, and I pray that she doesn't ever get it or experience anything, that will lead to, breast cancer or any problems with her breast. And she's proactive about getting her mammograms and following, her doctor's instructions.
Even though you had the and even though you have the family history of it, is there anything that any one of you could have done, any of you could have done to prevent it, or genetics is the?
I don't know. They always say diet, exercise. I did all of that stuff. I was active in high school playing ball and, tried to stay in shape and eating salads and this and that. I believe we get what we get because God created us. He passing it through them genes, and the genes is the genes. That's just me. I could be wrong, but I just was, I just felt very strong that genetics was the number one thing. But there's been people, that have had breast cancer. Nobody in their family has had it. And let me just say this: men can have breast cancer too. We're not the only ones. Women are not the only ones that get it. Men can have it also, can be diagnosed.
Yeah, and I think I saw somewhere where it is passed down through the mother.
Yes.
So that if the mother had it, the male and the female child can get it. Right. I was on a Zoom call earlier last week, earlier this week, and they were saying that if the mother had breast cancer, she could then develop some other form of cancer, or her kids could develop another form of cancer.
Right. And another thing, also prostate cancer is closely linked to breast cancer as well, so, and that also runs in my family. My dad had it, my brothers. So I don't think people realize that, but that can be another closely linked thing with breast cancer is prostate cancer too.
Who was the first person you shared your diagnosis with, and what was their reaction?
Okay. Well, when I went to the appointment, for my when the doctor called me in, naturally my husband and my daughter went. Okay. Because I call us the three-legged race out here, the three-legged, you know, car. We gotta go on three legs, or we gotta roll on three legs, y'all. It's just, me, my daughter, my husband, and we do what we gotta do. But it was the three of us there. And when they walked in, it was the doctor, they had somebody else. I saw not all I could see was white coats. I'm like, this is not good, you
Mm.
know. And so they told us, and we sat there and I said, I already knew. So that's what my doc said. She said, she told me, she believes it's breast cancer. So it was my husband and daughter knew first. I told my pastor and his wife. They were very supportive. I told my family, my brothers and my sisters, they knew. And then, after that, like church family, close friends. And that's basically how it went. I didn't put it on social media. I don't have a Facebook account or nothing because that's Julia. And I mean, if people found out, it is what it is. It's just my personal testimony. If somebody walks up and asks me something, I'll share with them.
So what was some of the reactions that you received when you told people?
I've got one good friend out here. Her name is Priscilla. She's like a 22-year survivor. I'm 14 years, and she was very supportive. She said to me, Julia, you need to join this organization. She said, I'm not telling you what to do, but consider, called My Sister's Keeper. And I joined. I'm still a member. And they were excellent. They sent packages to my house like Thanksgiving, because when I was going through my treatment, it was like around Thanksgiving time. I was ill. Um, you know, and it just filtered. The lady that actually started the organization, like, was it 20, 22 years ago? She has passed away, but Jackie was very, very supportive. Anything you need, call us. We will keep in touch with you. She was a woman of her word. She said, we're not going to let you out there alone, and they didn't. But then I said, I had to really depend on, my husband and my daughter. Those were the people that first knew. Those were the supportive people, from Priscilla onward. Um, I shared with, like, I believe I told, like, your mom and hubby, because they're close to me. They found out, and they were supportive and everything. I mean, just good people in your life will call you and support you. And it's just like I said, difficult being away from your like immediate family. When you're military, you're military.
Yeah. Um, who were some of the people that you leaned on during your journey through your breast cancer? I know you named some, or is there any more that you can think of that you leaned on?
Church family. Like I said, it's my husband, my daughter. They were my go-to. I knew I had to use them. My sisters and my brothers. My nephew. Wow. Well, actually, my two nephews. I'm not gonna start calling which ones, but he was calling June. You got to get better. He called me up late at night. He didn't care, if I was sleeping or whatever. But it was just your family. Just good people being good to you. And it felt good because it helped you, get through those tough, difficult times.
So what was, speaking of tough times, what was this toughest experience that you endured because of having breast cancer?
Having a surgery and, you know, everybody don't lose their breast. And I'll be upfront, I lost my breast. Just making that adjustment, you know, uh, when they removed my breast, I was in the hospital like a day or two, and they're like, "You can go home." I'm like, "Huh?" Like almost right after surgery. And that was one of the toughest things, you know. Um, I remember going to the doctor, the surgeon that did it. She is now retired, an excellent surgeon. She sat down and we talked. We had similar situations because she had lost a sister to breast cancer. And she said that's the reason why she only did breast to support women. And just after that surgery, not having a breast, and then you're like, all of that weight is off your chest, but then you have to roll a towel, which this doctor told me, he said, roll a towel, put it up underneath your arm, and support your arm on that. And it helps with that feeling of that breast missing on your chest because I could not get a prosthesis right away. You have to wait for your chest to heal. You have to wait like I forget how many weeks or whatever it is, but then they give you a soft like cotton filler to go in there. It's not truly what they call a prosthesis. And then after a certain period of time, you can get a prosthesis. And I had them laughing, I kept them laughing. I said, just throw something up there, a sock, ball up a t-shirt, or anything and throw up there, because I'm ready to go. And I don't think about it now. They offered me reconstruction, but I told them, no, I don't want to do that. I've heard, different people say they've had good and bad experiences with that. Um, I just said, no, it's not for me. Each time I would go to the doctor, now, this is just Julia saying this. Breast reconstruction is a money maker, for docs. And I said, please take it out of my chart. Don't ask me anymore about breast reconstruction. If I want it, I will let you know. But I don't want it. But that was the hardest thing, like losing your breast and knowing that you only have one breast. It gave me the option of removing my other breast. But I was like, why move something that's good? I've already lost something, from breast cancer, my breast already. Why go over there and mess with something that, is all okay? And I said, hey, I'm good with wearing prostheses, size me up, throw it up there, and I'm on my way out. So that was a challenge, Rashon. And like I'm starting my 15th year, and I'm good with that breast being gone. And people don't even know unless you tell them. You throw your clothes on, you go. You're off. So
Nobody knows what you're going through unless you tell them.
Nobody knows, Rashon, unless you open up your mouth and you start talking. I'm a witness. I can tell them, yeah, you can survive this thing. I've had another dear friend of mine who out here, as a matter of fact, I'm her son's godmother. She just recently, probably like 2 years ago, had breast cancer and had her breast removed. And she asked me what I thought, and I told her, but she decided to have reconstruction. I said, well, that one's on you, but I said, this is how I feel about it. I said, you may not like what I'm gonna say, but I'm just gonna say it, And I just left it at that. If people ask me how I truly feel, I say no, or it's just me. I'm satisfied with getting up, having a special bra with a pocket in it, throw that prostheses up there, I'm out the door. Throw my shirt on, I'm good. Okay.
So did they explain to you or ask you to take the other one because there may be a chance that it may go to that one, or they just let's or they just made it this, or they just asked you, did you want to move, or take it out, or have, yeah, take it out on the other one because, just because, or did they give you a reason for asking you why, to remove the other one?
Uh, Chances are sometimes you can get breast cancer. I've been in remission for about 13 years now, about 13 years. And they said because of strong family history, the chances are that I could, you know, get cancer in that breast.
Mhm.
And a lot of people do it. They remove their breast because, they find something, take them both off. But I said, no, I'm not going to go that. You know, I'm satisfied where I am. I think I made a good decision for myself after talking to my surgeon. She said, we have it all, Julia. We took out 4 lymph nodes. The only other issue I have now, and I just started having that within the last like 2 years, is I have swelling and I wear a compression sleeve. I have it on now, and a hand gauntlet, which I don't know if you can see that, but that kind of keeps the swelling down off my hand. And the compression sleeve goes all the way up here on my arm. I wear that daily. There's some issues that I still have, but I said, God is good. He took care of me, through all the chemo. I lost my hair. Hair wasn't an issue for me, whether I get hair back or not. I was completely bald. And when I went in for a head shave, what they call shaving your hair off.
Mhm.
She's a friend of mine now too, the girl that shaved my head. Her name was Becky Rainey. I never seen Becky in my life. And I walked in and they had told me, said, if you lay down with chemo and you get up, your hair, you're gonna find your hair probably on your pillow. My hair was thick and long way down my back. And I said, okay. I started combing and I was getting clumps of hair. And I said, this is the day I went in and I saw Becky.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
swung the door open. She probably said, who the crazy lady? I walked in there. I said, hey, time for shaving of the head. So I was in there dancing and she was laughing. She said, girl, where you come from? I said, hey, let's get this over. I'm done with the hair on the floor. I'm going to help you sweep it up. So I said, well, this will make a good wig. Well, we were laughing and talking and joking and all of that. And she's the one that sized me up for my prostheses when I was ready. And she said, girl, she said, I need you up here every day to give us, a laugh. I said, you know what? That's just some hair. I said, I haven't lost my life. I said, I might have lost my hair, but I'm determined I'm not going to lose my life over this. And she's such a sweet person, but that's what I did. I just said, sweep it up, do whatever you want to do with it, and I'm done because I have other things on my plate, like getting through chemo and getting sick and all that stuff. So I was mentally trying to get prepared for what was ahead, and
Be-
the hair wasn't an issue.
Mhm. Because you had the family history of breast cancer, I know some people that I've heard stories that people that do have that history, that family history, they go ahead earlier in life and take care of it and take out the breast. If you could go back, would you make that decision knowing your family history?
I would not do anything unless it's necessary, Rashon. I think for me, this is me personally, that's a little extreme.
Mhm.
I knew my mother had breast cancer. Why would I go and remove my breast when she was alive? Why would I do that?
Mhm.
I got a diagnosis and then I made that decision. I knew my sister had breast cancer. Why would I do that? You know, and that's just for me. I'm speaking for me. I'm not speaking for anybody else. Anything that anybody else chooses to do, that's all good and dandy. But no, if I was never diagnosed and I knew my sister and my mom had breast cancer, I don't think I'm gonna go out there and say, hey, remove my breast. No, I would not want to do that. I just think the Lord made us a way in his image, and I don't think this is Julia. He wants us tinkering with nothing unless it's necessary. Because we're fearfully and wonderfully made by him.
Yes, one of my favorite scriptures.
That's me.
Yep.
That's me. He knew me in my mama's womb, and he knew this was going to happen to me. This is me. He shaped me. We're all different. You know, different. So, and I hope and pray that they find a cure for breast cancer, any kind of cancer. I don't want another person to be diagnosed with cancer or have to go to chemo. I didn't have radiation. I don't even want them to have radiation.
Mm.
So it raised havoc with your body. I had my share.
What was a moment or moments of daylight that you had through your journey with breast cancer?
I think the daylight is just sharing the testimony, my testimony with others. You will have ladies that ask you, how did you make it through? You know, it was just my faith. You know, I knew that God made me, and I just knew, Lord, you're gonna take care of me. Yeah. And that's what I leaned on, Rashon. Every time I went to chemo, I had my Bible, you know, right there. I was reading my Bible, just saying, Lord, you got me. Lord, you got me. You know, my pastor would call me. He was actually from New York, and I called him Pastor Homeboy. You know, Pastor Homeboy, you know, this is going on. He said, you want me to come? I said, you know what? Thank you for the offer, but not right now. You know, I'm sitting in this chair. I'm looking at this die come down. They call a red devil.
Mm.
I said, this devil ain't coming in me. You know, and then it was red, like red Kool-Aid.
Mm.
And they said, you getting your red devil today? I said, that ain't the devil for me. He getting up out of here. If that's what you call it, you call it, but no. So, you know, and I shared that with my pastor and told him, you know, the red devil and all that stuff. And he said, well, I can come over. I said, no, I'm good. I'm in a good spot, you know, right now. His wife, amazing. She wanted to come and stuff. And I said, my husband is here. My daughter's here. That's one thing I can say. She did not miss one of my chemo sessions. Neither did my husband. Um, you know, and you know, I just said, Lord, he took care of me, Rashon. He just took care of me. And that's one of the things I remember them saying about the red devil. Mm. I said, the devil ain't coming in these veins. I'm sorry. It's Jesus. And he took care of me. He blessed me for, I mean, I'm heading on 15 years. And I go every year and have my mammograms and everything. And so far, so good. Thank God, things look good. I get good reports.
When you were told you were in remission, oh yeah, when were you told you were in remission, and how did you feel when you were told?
I think I was told probably after I had completed my chemo. I don't remember exact dates or anything like that. And I was just happy, you know, to hear that I was in remission and everything's going to be okay. And they said, if you just do this, my doctor shared with me, she said, I have a lot of patients that don't come back. And, once they have a surgery like yours, we don't see them anymore. We don't know what happened to them or whatever. I said, well, that's them. I said, but I will be knocking your door down because I will be back. I said, whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do it.
What are some things that you know about yourself, your faith, life, and God that you didn't know before having your breast cancer? And did having breast cancer change your faith? Why or why not?
I think it has. It made me stronger. It made me realize that there is a God. I knew there was a God before, but I really know now that He really truly takes care of you. Um, this may sound crazy, but I just gotta say this. I remember I was laying in the bed and I saw my sister. She was dressed in white. This is the one that passed away, and she was up over my head. And it was like a healing for me. She was up over my whole body, dressed in white. And I was like, oh, I just seen Maddie. And that was peaceful and healing for me. I said, am I gonna die or am I gonna live? And, but I think she was just bringing peace to my soul and said, don't worry. You're gonna cry, but don't worry. That was peaceful and calming for me. And I knew it was her because that was how she was when she was alive. If something happened with us, she was right there trying to take care of us. Even when my mom was around, she was more like trying to be my mother. Just that was her. I gotta get up in there, y'all going in for the surround. I said, you can't go up in there. But when I saw that, I was like, oof, it was just something else. She was in white, and I was like, wow, Jew, you transitioning or you staying here? It's something. It's just I said, Lord, I got to get it right with you. Because you can go at any time. So be prepared.
What does overcoming by your testimony mean to you?
Just dealing with what has gone on. I've dealt with it. Just being able to share with someone if they're interested in hearing, like you're interested in hearing, you wanted to know about, my journey through, breast cancer. It's all behind me, but when somebody asks me, I have to really think about it because I know God brought me through. I just know, Rashon, I just that there is a God. Prayer warriors that prayed at my church or through other people that I knew. They said, I will put you on a prayer list, but they didn't necessarily know me, but they prayed for me. And it's just a testimony, just a testimony. There's individuals that don't want to talk about what they've been through as far as breast cancer. Very private. But if someone asks me, I'm not sure. Because God brought me through this. And I know He will bring people through if you have that faith to lean on Him.
Last question. Is there anything I haven't asked that you would like to say? Any words of encouragement, advice that you want people to take away from this conversation?
Like I said, breast cancer is not a death sentence. I don't think any cancer is a death sentence. As long as you take care of yourself, you have faith, you lean on the Lord. Um, if you have a good support system, everyone will have a good support system, but I had a good support system. Um, and just remember that the advice you get, especially from your providers, I always say it's customized for you. It's not for anybody else. Um, yes, I can tell them I've been through breast cancer and how I survived, but your symptoms may not be the same as mine. I remember Thanksgiving, my daughter and husband was cooking. I couldn't stand anything, to smell anything. And I kept saying, hurry up and cook. Oh, throw that food away, you know. But, you know your body better than anybody else. And I always say it's all about taking good care of yourself. And support is important. I love my husband and I love my daughter dearly because they were my backbone. Because when I walked in a room and they start telling me I had to do this and that and the other, I couldn't hear. I had no ears. They were my ears. They were my everything, because I said, what did they say? Because I just couldn't, you know, um, stand to hear the word cancer. I have it. And they had my back. They were my backbone. They were my go-to. They were everything for me. My advice is if you're diagnosed to just basically take care of yourself, um, do exactly what your providers say to do. Yearly mammograms are important. Self breast exams are important. Even though you may have been diagnosed with breast cancer, doesn't mean it's a death sentence. We can live on. I think faith is important, believing in God and praying. There is a higher being that takes care of all of us. And also, I did not mention if you should be diagnosed and it's in your family, it might be a good idea to do genetic testing to see if you do have the gene, what they call the BRCA. I've had it done twice and we don't have the gene. And my daughter did it twice because it's on my husband's side as well, because his sister was diagnosed with breast cancer and his niece. So I think, just taking care of yourself is very important. It's not to say that you're going to prevent cancer, but if you do, get diagnosed, you can say, hey, I did this, 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 and this to maintain a healthy life. But, I hope and pray, like I said before, that they will eventually have a cure for cancer, all cancer. And I think maybe one day they'll get there. And that's my prayer, that God, um, help us to deal with this cancer and maybe eventually we'll get there with a cure.
So I have one more question because you brought something up. So you so there's the BRCA mutation test that you can have done.
Right.
And you said you didn't have it. Monique doesn't have it.
Right.
But you still got breast cancer.
Right.
So do you know why that could be?
Don't know, but we don't carry the gene.
Okay.
She doesn't have it, my daughter doesn't have it, and I don't have the gene. I don't know if my mom had breast cancer. It was a belief that my grandmother also may have had it as well because she had leaky breast and but she was too old and she was getting ready to transition and they didn't get an accurate diagnosis. My sister died from breast cancer, and all the females in my family, we strongly urged them to do mammograms and things like that. So I don't know, I don't know if it was just something that happened to my family as far as, all of the, three women, my mother, my sister, and me, you know, I don't know. And we don't have the gene. But I wanted to know. And actually I didn't request a second test. The lady that did my testing, she said, Julia, come back in. Maybe your first test wasn't accurate. We don't know. And retest. And I did it. And still came back, no, we don't carry the gene.
So,
So
did you have your test before your diagnosis or after?
after, it was after, twice after. Yep. Both of us did it, myself and my daughter. It was after.
All right. I think that's it. See,
So
wasn't
thank you.
that bad?
I enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from it.
Yeah,
And I'm really proud of you, Rashon. I love you.
I love you too.
I'm happy that you're my godchild. I saw you as a baby, and they told your mom some things that I said we were going to pray on that. And look at you. Who would have thought
Yeah.
with your diagnosis where you would be?
Yes.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank
Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Well, something that I don't know if I'm going to share this part, but I'm going to share it with you. I had a little scare
Okay.
last month with my breast.
Okay.
It was hurting. I thought it was my bra.
Mm-hmm.
I took the bra off because it was laying down. I took it off. It was still hurting.
Mm-hmm.
It hurt to walk down the stairs. I had to hold myself to walk down the stairs.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, what is this? And then I guess I tried to do what I thought was a good examination.
Right.
I didn't feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
So at the age of 35, I had my first mammogram when they suggest that you get it at 40.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, they can do it younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They
So,
can. And speaking of that, um, I've known young ladies in their 20s. There's a young lady, as a matter of fact, the Priscilla that I spoke to about, rather, my friend, her niece, um, who's having some problem with her breast, went in. She was like 25 years old. They told her, oh, nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong. She went home, waited, went back. Her aunt Priscilla told her, said, you go back to that doctor and say something to that doctor or get a different doctor. And I think she did. I think she went on to another doctor and they said, we're gonna, give you a mammogram and see what's going on because she said her breast just wasn't right. And she found out, like at the age of 25, Danita found out that she had breast cancer. And then she got it a second time around. And so, you know, you're never too young. You're never too young.
Yeah. So what they did it, I got my mammogram. They said my breasts were so dense, it was a whole bunch of white, so they did the ultrasound. And they found a couple of cysts. They
Okay.
found one that was just as large as just as long as my breast was, as long as the what do you call it? The what do they call it? The tool that they use, oh my goodness, the wand. I guess that's
Oh, okay. I didn't know what you was reaching
I
for.
was like, I don't even know if that's the word.
Okay.
But they found one, it was just as wide and as
Okay.
long as the wand on the
Okay.
side of my breast. But by the time I went to go do everything, get everything checked out, the pain had gone. Um, but it still was something that people should do. If you notice something
Not right.
that's not
Check it
right
out.
with
Check it out.
yourself,
Check
you're
it
never
out.
too
I'm the
young.
one to
As we
say it.
heard, you're never too young.
Yep. Yep.
It's better safe than sorry, because
Mm-hmm.
you wait to
Mm-hmm.
that 40, you can find out that you but I had that scare. I didn't share it. Of course, I didn't share it with mom and grandma. So if I put this in
Mm-hmm.
there, this is the first time they'll see that part. But I did tell them after
Yes.
I had everything done that nothing was nothing there. But
Mm-hmm.
when I was going through it, I didn't share it with them that what I was thinking. Um, I did with one person, with Shakara, but that was
Mm-hmm.
it. And she did feel it too. She did feel it. It was hard too.
Right. Right. Right.
So that
Yeah.
all of that with the pain, the hardness,
Mm-hmm.
um, and the heaviness of
Yes.
it as well. I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, what is this? So I was anxious to go see the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go see her for a physical.
Okay.
He was like, well, you're too young to get a mammogram. I said, wait, hold up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told her what was going on, and she ordered it right then and there, and I had it that same day, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ultrasound, and they called me back that everything was okay. But then I did have a follow up with another breast doctor, and she said that they're just cysts, and that if they do start to bother me again, that that I can have them drained. So
Right. Right. But keep an eye on them and
yeah.
just continue to go back and don't let it go. You know, I might say sis, but go back.
Mm-hmm.
Just go back.
Yeah.
Just go back. Yep. Yep. If you're not satisfied with the answer that doctor gave you, there's always other docs.
Yeah.
That's what I
And,
always say. You know,
mhm.
you can move on because they had told Danita, this young lady, that she did not have, you know, cancer, but she did. Yeah. Um, but you know your body better than anybody. Because like I said, I walked in and I said, I know this is it. This is the thing. I'm not trying to self-diagnose,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. And so she said, okay, let's check some stuff out. And like I said, all I could see was white coats coming
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell me something. But yeah, follow up and you know, make sure nothing gets out of whack. If something changes, make sure you get in,
Yeah.
and self breast exams are important too, especially when you're in the shower because you got all that soap on, you can feel stuff, and it's important. It's important to do. Yeah.
So I think I will add it.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
I do suggest if anything is ever wrong with any part of your body,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not feeling right, you don't feel good, it feels
Absolutely.
lumpy, it feels wrong, go get it checked out. Some people
Yeah.
might call you hypochondriac.
Mm-mm.
Your body,
Mm-mm.
you know your
No,
body.
it's your body.
Go
Mm-hmm.
get it checked out, because
Absolutely.
better safe
Yeah.
than sorry.
Yeah, waiting too long, and then they say, "Oh my gosh, yeah, there's nothing we can do, because you waited too long." And there's been that type of people or people, that wait too long to do something, and there's nothing that they can do for them. You wait and you wait and you put it off. You don't want to do that. Yeah, it's important to take care of your body. You only get one. You ain't
Yeah,
getting nothing else.
everything that's going on with all the stuff that they put in our food that they tell us not. It seems like
Yeah.
everything that we put in our mouth, you can't eat this, don't eat this because it can't
Don't eat that.
cause
Don't
cancer.
eat out the can. Don't eat
That
it.
cause cancer. That cause. Then
Mm,
what can we
Yeah,
eat?
yeah.
Then
People
what
say,
can we eat?
man, yep, don't eat this, don't eat that, do this, don't fry, don't, all this stuff. And I'm thinking, man, we grew up out of can. We fried this,
Yeah.
And I'm thinking somebody told me, said, I don't eat out the can. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, do you eat in a restaurant? They said, yeah. I said, you just ate out of a can.
You don't know what's happening back in that kitchen.
You got that right. I said, you just ate out of the can. Welcome to eating out the can world. And I mean, just like I'm saying, you do what you can do to be healthy and stay healthy as much as you possibly can. There's not only breast cancer, we as Black folk can get breast cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure. It goes on. So just do what you can do to maintain a healthy life. And your breast for women is very important, very, very important that we as women do self breast examinations. And if something ain't feeling right or looking right, even discharge from your nipples or anything like that, your nipples are, not looking right or whatever, you need to have that stuff checked out. It really, really do.
Yeah, that's the only thing that wasn't happening that gave me some solace. I'm just like, okay, well, it's not leaking, so
Yeah,
maybe it's
yeah,
not. But you never know that some
yeah,
people don't like you said,
yeah,
everybody's
yeah.
different. Everybody's different. Some people don't have leakage, and some people
I don't
may have
know.
leakage.
Yeah, see, I had a little knot and felt it, and I knew. I'm like, Lord, okay, I know what this is. I got to get prepared. I mean, it was a journey that I don't want any other woman to have to go through. I don't want not another woman diagnosed with breast cancer. I just don't. I just don't. I feel like that's behind me. 15 years out, there's a lot of women that were not as blessed to see 15 years after they had their surgery. Um, so I'm considered a blessed one. That's what I consider myself. God had me. God's got me.
Yes, he does.
He got us, Rashon.
Well, I guess that is it. But again, y'all,
Okay.
those of you who are watching, if you're 35 and above, even if you have no matter how old you are, if you have any health issues in your family, watch what you eat.
Yes.
You can eat anything you want, but in moderation. If you know you
Yes.
have
Yes.
problems in your family, watch what you eat it in moderation.
Right.
And if there's a scare that you go through, have it regulated. Don't let the doctor put you on medication first. Do what you can first to lessen it, and then go back. And then if it's not better, then you get medication, the lowest dosage. This is just me.
Yeah.
Like our
Yeah.
mama said, this is for her. This is just
Yeah.
for me. But
Yeah.
this is my
And
advice to
yeah.
you. You can take it, you can leave
Yeah.
it. But this
Yeah.
is what I've done in the last year or so. I know I'm getting older. I know what's going on in my family that are 27 and 25 years older than me, and even older than me. And I know I'm getting to that age, and I'm feeling it in me that that I'm getting to that age where I need to watch and take care of
Yeah.
myself better.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to. Old habits die hard, but there's some alternatives out there. You can eat vegetarian meals, which are good. There's some
Yeah.
good alternatives. If you want some
Yeah.
examples, if you want some recipes, hit me up. Hit me
Yeah.
up. I can let you know. Um, and you can, instead of frying all the time, bake. Baking is
Yes.
good.
Yes. I do a
Searing
lot
is
of baking.
good.
Yes.
Um, Instead of using
I mean,
iodine salt, use the
yeah.
Himalayan salt. It's less
Yeah.
sodium.
And a lot of people, they still like their fried food. They can, change and try the air fryer. I mean, there's air fryers out
Yep.
there,
And it
so you got
just
to
as
try some
crispy.
different things.
Yep,
Yeah.
just as crispy. You can get your food just as crispy in the air fryer than you can in that oil
Yes.
bubbling and whatnot and all grease.
Exactly. You can. You can. Yes, you can. We have to be our best advocate for ourselves. Even when I go to the doctor, I've got a good primary care manager, provider. Um, like when she pulls out her pad to write a prescription, I say, "Hey, wait a minute. Let's put on pump your brakes. Like, what is this, for? We have to be our best advocate,
Mhm.
you know. And it's hard to break a habit. They said it's hard to break bad habits of eating or whatever it might be that you might have, but it's for your best interest to remain healthy. But my journey has been a journey of 15 years of trying to stay healthy after my diagnosis. And like I said before, I just hope no one else is diagnosed with cancer, any form of cancer, whether it's breast or whatever. And I pray that eventually there is some type of a cure for this. Hopefully, it's around the corner.
But thank God for the doctors that he put his
Oh yeah,
his
oh yeah,
power
oh
in to
yes,
take care of
yes,
us.
yes. To be able to go to school, get that knowledge, to treat us, and say this is what you need to do to maintain a healthy life. Absolutely, I agree.
Well, I'm not gonna hold you anymore any longer.
Uh,
I
uh,
love you.
love you too,
I love you.
and thank you so much. Like I said, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Um, I don't know what to say about you, Rashon. You're just amazing. It blows my mind, and I love the fact you wrote a book. You're just so energetic. I love it. So keep up the good work. And I'm proud that you are my godchild. I am very, very proud. You've got a story. You really do. Absolutely. I love you. I wish I could see you more. Um, Come see us sometime. We're gonna get together. We're gonna get together.
And
Because
I've never
we're gonna
been
get together.
to the middle of the country, so maybe I should. Maybe
Yeah.
I should,
Yeah.
because I don't know where I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So anyway, we'll be seeing each other, whether I gotta get up there to New York or whatever. We'll get together eventually.
yeah,
So give my love to all. I love you guys. I miss you guys.
I miss you too.
And you know how to get in touch with me.
Yes.
And
Thank
this
you.
is my pleasure to share my journey with you.
Thank you.